Revenge.
My name is Alaric Boone. I build systems that don't fall apart when things go wrong. At least, that used to matter here. The conference room smells like burnt coffee and dry erase marker. 12 people around the table. My laptop is connected to the screen. Slide deck open. Months of work behind me. On the screen is the title: Disaster Recovery and Backup Infrastructure Proposal. I'm halfway through explaining the failover process when Trent Maddox leans back in his chair and laughs. Not a polite chuckle. A real laugh. I freeze. Sorry, he says, grinning. I gotta ask. Are we preparing for a meteor strike too? Or just the end of the world? A few people snort. My throat tightens. This isn't hypothetical. If our primary storage cluster fails. He raises a hand. Alaric, relax. We're not NASA. The director, his brother, stares down at the table. I feel heat crawling up my neck. This isn't about panic. It's about probability. We're running at 88% capacity. If we lose a node. Trent swivels his laptop toward himself. How much is this going to cost again? Roughly $200,000 to implement. Much less than extended downtime. He whistles. 200 grand for something that might never happen. I try again. It will happen. It's not if. It's when. He looks around the room like I just told a ghost story. See, this is the culture we're fixing, he says. Fear-based decision-making. Someone actually nods. My hands are shaking now, but I keep my voice steady. This isn't fear. It's industry-standard resilience planning. Trent clicks his mouse. My screen flickers. The roadmap spreadsheet replaces my presentation. I stare at it, confused. He scrolls. Finds my project line. Disaster Recovery Phase 1. Without looking at me, he says, let's free up some budget for growth initiatives. And deletes it. Right there. In front of everyone. Like it's a typo. The road disappears. Months of planning. Risk models. Vendor negotiations. Late nights. Gone in one click. I wait for someone to say something. No one does. My director clears his throat. We'll revisit if it becomes necessary. If. My ears are ringing. I can barely hear myself say. It will be too late if we wait. Trent smiles at me. That soft, fake-friendly smile. Hey, he says. If the sky starts falling, you can say I told you so. The room laughs again. Meeting adjourned. Chairs scrape. Conversations start. Life goes on. I sit there staring at the blank space where my project used to be. I feel small. Embarrassed. Angry in that quiet, powerless way that sits heavy in your chest. As I close my laptop, Trent pats my shoulder like we're friends. Don't take it personally, he says. We just don't need unnecessary backups. That night at 11:52 p.m., my phone starts screaming with alerts. And in the dark, staring at the ceiling, I whisper. You just deleted the only thing that could have saved us. I'm in bed when the alerts start stacking. Database failures. Storage overload. System crash. I sit up in the dark, already knowing why. I whisper. This is exactly what I tried to stop. Flashback. Trent joins the company. No tech background. Big smile. Bigger opinions. First thing he says to me. We're trimming paranoia around here. He's the director's younger brother. I show him the risk models. He schemes one page and says, fear doesn't scale companies. Confidence does. The room laughs. I feel small. Invisible. My director says, let's simplify things. Trent pulls me aside. You're smart, Alaric. Don't become the guy who slows progress. It's a threat wrapped in a smile. I start saving every email. People stop backing me in meetings. My ideas get labeled overkill. A junior engineer quietly tells me, I think you're right, but I can't say that out loud. My sister notices I'm distracted at dinner. I admit I feel like I'm watching a bridge crack while everyone's still driving over it. She says, then don't let them blame you when it falls. Monitoring tools downgraded. Backup storage reduced. Redundancies removed. Each decision saves money and increases risk. I sent a formal risk summary. I ask for written confirmation that the disaster recovery plan is officially canceled. Trent replies, confirmed. Not a priority. I archive it. I have proof now. Short outages begin. Trent calls them growing pains. Leadership believes him. System capacity hits 92%. I sent one final email. Storage saturation risk imminent. No response. Midnight approaches. Back to the present. Everything crashes. Customers locked out. Payment systems frozen. My phone won't stop ringing. Trent doesn't answer his. Executives demand answers. Someone asks, "How could this happen?" I say calmly, "Because the backup system was removed." Silence. Trent joins late, blames technical mismanagement. My chest burns. I forward his cancellation email to the entire call. A major client threatens to pull a multi-million-dollar contract. Now leadership is scared. Legal joins the incident channel. I present timelines, risk reports, and approval threads. No emotion, just facts. HR starts a formal review. Some coworkers avoid me, afraid of fallout. But the junior engineer from before offers to share meeting notes. He recorded Trent dismissing the risk. The outage cost crosses 7 figures. Board members demand a root cause report. I'm asked to help write it. A recruiter calls. Better pay. Better title. I almost say yes. I decided to stay until the investigation finishes. The official report concludes the outage was preventable. Primary cause, removal of resilient systems. Decision maker identified. Trent claims I exaggerated risks to protect my role. I release performance simulations proving otherwise. My director finally reads everything. My director sees the paper trail, the timestamps, the ignored warnings. He looks shaken. He calls me into his office. The email hits at 9:12 a.m. Subject line, organizational update. Those 2 words have ruined careers before. I'm at my desk, coffee untouched, inbox already buzzing with follow-ups from the outage review. My stomach tightens before I even click it. Effective immediately, Trent Maddox will be stepping away from operational responsibilities pending the conclusion of the internal review. Infrastructure reliability initiatives will transition to interim leadership under Alaric Boone. I read it twice, then a third time. Not because I don't understand it, but because I do. Across the office, I hear it, the subtle shift in air. Chairs turning, Slack notifications popping. That low, electric murmur that only happens when news spreads faster than anyone wants to admit. I don't look up right away. I just sit there, staring at my name in that email like it belongs to someone else. Interim leadership. I should feel triumphant. Instead, I feel steady, like the ground stopped shaking. A shadow falls across my desk. It's Mira from data engineering. She offers a small, careful smile. "Hey, just saw the update." "Yeah," I say, voice neutral. "Me too." She nods toward the conference rooms down the hall. "People are talking." I figured. She hesitates. "For what it's worth, some of us knew you were right. We just couldn't say it." I finish gently. Her shoulders drop in relief. "Yeah." I nod once. No bitterness left to spend. "I get it." She squeezes my shoulder and walks off. My calendar pings. 11 a.m. Recovery leadership sync. Organizer, director. I stare at it. Same director. Same building. Same company. Different reality. The conference room feels quieter than usual when I walk in. Not awkward. Just sober. The director is already seated. So are 2 VPs and someone from legal. There's an empty chair at the far end of the table. No one says Trent's name. No one has to. "Alaric," the director says, standing as I enter. Not towering. Not commanding. Just acknowledging. I nod. "Morning." We sit. He folds his hands. "We've reviewed the findings from the outage investigation. The board wants immediate stabilization and a long-term resilience plan." I glance at the legal rep. She gives a small nod. Encouragement, not pressure. The director continues. "We'd like you to lead that effort." The words hang there. Not assist. Not contribute. Lead. I think about that meeting weeks ago. The laughter. The click of a mouse deleting months of work. I think about staring at my ceiling at 11:52 p.m. while the system burned. I keep my voice even. I can do that. A VP leans forward. "What do you need?" Not skepticism. Support. It's almost disorienting. "Clear authority on infrastructure decisions," I say, "and the ability to rebuild the recovery plan without shortcuts." The director nods immediately. "You have it." No debate. No joke about meteors. Just agreement. Something inside me, tight for months, loosens. This isn't revenge. It's restoration. As the meeting wraps, the director lingers while the others file out. He doesn't meet my eyes at first. "This situation," he starts, then stops. Tries again. I should have listened more carefully. It's not a grand apology. Not polished. But it's real. I nod once. "We all wanted the company to succeed." He He swallows. Thank you for staying professional. Professional. The word means something different now. It means I didn't lash out. Didn't sabotage. Didn't say I told you so when it would have been easy. I just did the job. I care about the systems, I say quietly. That's all. He nods, like he finally understands that isn't a small thing. When I leave the room, people glance up from their desks, not with pity, not with avoidance. With respect. Back at my workstation, I open a blank document. Title: Infrastructure Recovery, Phase 1. My fingers hover over the keyboard for a second. Weeks ago, I was the paranoid guy with unnecessary backups. Now I'm the one they're trusting to make sure this never happens again. I start typing, not to prove a point, not to win, but to build something that holds, even when everything else gives way. The conference room feels different this time. Same long table, same flickering overhead light, same burnt coffee smell, but nobody's laughing today. My name is on the meeting invite now. Alaric Boone, Infrastructure Resilience Proposal. I stand at the front of the room, laptop connected, palms steady. Not because I'm calm, but because I've already survived the worst part. The outage, the blame, the silence. This is just work. Trent's chair is empty. No one mentions it. I take a breath and click to the first slide. Thanks for being here, I say. My voice sounds strange to my own ears, quieter than I expected, but firm. I'm going to walk through a practical recovery and resilience plan. Not a doomsday scenario. Not a wish list. Just what we need to make sure last month never happens again. No smirks. No interruptions. Just eyes on the screen. I explain the backup architecture. Redundancy zones. Automated failover. Staged rollouts. Costs, timelines, trade-offs. This time, when someone asks a question, it's thoughtful. Not mocking. Would this have prevented the storage cascade? One of the VPs asks. Yes, I say. It would have reduced downtime from 14 hours to under 40 minutes. There's a low murmur around the table. I don't gloat. I don't say I told you so. I just keep going. Because this was never about being right. It was about not watching everything burn. Halfway through, the director clears his throat. My chest tightens for a second, muscle memory from that last meeting. But his voice is different now. Lower. Alaric, this is solid work. The words land heavier than I expect. I nod once. Thank you. He flips through the printed summary in front of him. What do you need to get started? Just like that. No fight. No jokes. No dismissal. I glance around the room. Everyone's waiting. For Phase 1, I say. Approval on vendor contracts and 2 additional engineers. We can have core redundancy live in 8 weeks. The CFO speaks up. Budget's already been reallocated. We should have done this earlier. A few people nod. I feel something in my chest loosen, a knot that's been there for months. The director closes the folder. Let's move forward. Full approval. No dramatic pause. No debate. Just done. Meeting adjourns, but no one rushes out. A couple people stop to thank me on their way past. Glad you stuck with it. Wish we'd listened sooner. Each one feels like a brick being lifted off my back. I pack up slowly. When I step into the hallway, the director is waiting. For a second, we just stand there, fluorescent lights humming above us. He looks older than he did a month ago. Tough position you were put in, he says quietly. I don't answer right away. I'm not sure there's a safe response. He exhales. You were right. And you handled it professionally. I appreciate that. Professionally. Not bitter. Not vindictive. Just steady. Thank you. I say. He nods once, then adds. I'm sorry it took a crisis to prove it. That one hits deeper than the promotion email ever could. Because it means he knows. Not just that the system failed, but I was left standing alone, trying to stop it. We stood there a second longer. Then he heads toward his office. I walk back to my desk. Same keyboard. Same monitors. But it feels different now. Not because I won. Because the work finally matters again. I sit down, open my laptop, and start outlining Phase 1 implementation. No celebration. No victory speech. Just building something that won't break when it's needed most. And for the first time in a long while, I'm not the only one who understands why that matters. Weeks later, systems are stronger than ever. Trent is gone, officially pursuing other opportunities. I'm promoted to head of reliability. Final line. I didn't win because I fought harder. I won because I refused to stop being right, even when they laughed.